Hey, New Life Church. I hope you're having a great day this Tuesday. I want to take some time just to do devotion in James 5. It's actually based on the reading that we have today in our SOAP reading plan. Hopefully you got a hold of that this morning and have either gone through it or are scheduling some time to go through it. But it's in James 5, verse 7 through 8. Pastor preached on these verses earlier in the week. And so there were a reading today and just some things that came out that really stuck out to me that I'd like to share with you guys, and hopefully it can be an encouragement to you, and hopefully God can use it to either teach you something or to maybe encourage you to do something and to see growth in your life. So let me just read it real quick and we'll dive in. It says James 5 verse 7 starting here. It says this: Dear brothers and sisters, be patient as you wait for the Lord's return. Consider the farmers who patiently waits, a lot of patience in here so far, who patiently wait for the rains in the fall and in the spring. They eagerly look for the valuable harvest to ripen. You too must be patient. There it is again, that patient word. Take courage, for the coming of the Lord is near. Now, I know for me, this is a fact, and it probably is for you, is that I don't like being patient. We generally don't like being patient, right? Especially when you're in a circumstance you don't want to be in. You want to get out. You want to get to the next level. You want to get to your destination. That is how we're wired. We want, especially in our society, we want to go. Get there. I don't want to have to wait, especially if it's painful. We really want to get out of those situations. And so hearing this can kind of be like, oh, okay, God, do you want me to wait? You want me to be patient? So what's going on here? Especially in James' context, is he's talking to a church who they're in a state where they're very oppressed by the people in power. People who are wealthier than them were really oppressing the Christians. They were oppressing the church, and they're wondering, well, what do we do about this? And then James writes to them and he says, here's what you got to do. I'm like, all right, what is it? Be patient. And they're probably like, dude, what? What do you mean be patient? Do you know what's happening to us? Like, tell us how to get out of here. Tell us how to move on to the next thing. We don't want to be here anymore. And he says, you need to be patient. But what's interesting is he says, you need to be patient. And then he uses the analogy of a farmer and how a farmer is patient, right? He says that the farmer waits for the rains in the fall and in the spring, which a farmer, as we know, at least to our best ability, they do have a power in our day and age and technology. They have to wait for rain to come, and they can't do that. We don't have the power to control the weather, right? They're completely reliant on an outside force to provide the rain, right? Which we know is God ultimately. He's the one who provides the rain, and so they can't do that, so they have to wait for it. But what's interesting about farmers is what do they do? Do they just sit there at their field and, all right, we're just gonna wait for the... No, they're actively waiting, right? In the meantime, they're tilling the ground, they're planting seeds, they're preparing their fields, they're fertilizing, they're getting the soil ready, getting everything organized. The seeds are in rows. They're doing all of that work, so they're doing what they can do in the moment, in that time of waiting. But then they got to still wait for God to bring the increase, right? They wait for what only God can do, and what will be God's timing. So they're not waiting passively. We see that they're acting actively, or even better, they're waiting actively. They're doing the things that they can do right now in that moment and waiting for God to bring about the results, waiting for God to do what only God can do. So waiting on God in these moments, whatever you're in, even the church then and you now, is waiting on God isn't just wishing on a star and be like, okay, God, you're just going to get me out of here. I'm just going to sit down and do nothing. I'm going to have no part of this. That's not what it is. That's not what we're called to. Is that many times God is using our waiting and calling us to patience in whatever circumstance we're in, so that He's preparing us for the next step. And there's something that He wants us to do right now. Because why does God have us wait in these moments? Why doesn't He just pull us through? He's trying to teach us something. And for God, it's always been this way, is that His focus is never on just getting you there, right? Getting there past your circumstance isn't the point with God, right? I think we think that the end, or where we end up, is where we should be focusing on. But I think in the case with God, I think on the way there in the waiting just might be more the point than actually arriving at your destination. Because it's in those waiting days, it's in the ordinary everyday that you seem to be locked in of your circumstance that you're like, man, this isn't ideal. When am I getting out? It might just be in that moment that might be the most important moment of your life. And it is the most important. Do you know why? Because it's today. And today is what we're guaranteed. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. So we take hold of what we can do right now. So you may be in a situation that's not ideal, but you can love the people around you. You may not be in a situation that's ideal, but man, you can grow to love God more. You can cry out to Him. You can have a conversation with Him. You can care for the people that are around you. You can be a light for Jesus in the world by living a right life, a life of righteousness that will reflect who Jesus is. You can do that right now. That is waiting actively. That's not just being passive. It's like, God, I know you're going to move. You're going to do whatever you got to do to get me out of here eventually. But right now, I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to lean on you, and I'm going to do what I can to bring glory to you and have you work in me, because it's the journey that matters most to God. It's in this moment that you're in right now. You may be in your cubicle on a Monday or even today on a Tuesday hearing this, and you think, man, I'm just waiting to get out of here. Don't think that way. God has you there for a reason. He wants you to have patience because there's something you can be doing right now and that He is going to be working in you. And it's in these moments that we get to know God better than any other, is when we seem to be in the grind, when we seem to be, man, I have no way out of here. That's when we have the time to get to know Him, to love Him, to see His heart, to see God in a way that we couldn't if things were just happy and happy-go-lucky all the time. But it's on you to seize that opportunity. You can just let the time go by and do nothing and not get to know God better, not impact people that God's put in your life. And you can just wait for it to get through and, okay, well, we're good now. Or you can seize those opportunities, get to know God more, and be a part of growing His kingdom, of impacting other people's eternities. So don't wish these waiting, ordinary moments away. Don't wish this, this is a hard time. Don't wish it away. These are precious moments that you've been given. They're the most important days you have because they're the days you have. It's the day you're in right now. So take advantage of that. Don't let it go away. Don't just think, I gotta get through it. It's like, no, God has me here right now. So what can I be doing as I wait for Him to work? As I wait for Him to move? Because He's still moving. It may not be how you want, but He's there and He's moving, and He wants you to join along with Him in this mission to show Jesus to the world. So guys, that's my encouragement to you. Is I don't know what it is you're going through. I don't know where you feel stuck, but know that God has you there for a reason, and He wants you to be patient as you wait on Him. But He wants you to be patient actively. Do what you can. Do whatever you can do, whatever's in your power right now. You can't control the big stuff. You can't control how it's going to turn out, but you can control how you respond. You can control what you do. You can love Jesus now. You can love others now. You can share Jesus now. He's given you today, and we know that through Jesus we can maximize every moment of our life because He's the Lord of our life. So I hope that encourages you today, and I hope you enjoy your reading in James today if you haven't done it already, and if you have, reflect on it and see how God can move in your life. All right, have a good one, guys, and we'll see you around.